Good morning, everybody. I hope that you're having a really lovely start to your Saturday. If we haven't met yet, hi, my name is Brooklyn, and it is so nice to see you here. I'm just going to share this video to my group. There we go. So this morning we had a webinar scheduled. Oh, what have I done now? Okay, we had a webinar scheduled and, my goodness me, we're just having so many issues this morning and Webinar Jam is down. So I thought, how can I still serve you guys and give you the help that you need when it comes to creating a bit of an online income for your practice? So what I then did was I jumped into Facebook on my laptop here, and what's happened is, Facebook have overnight decided to introduce another way of going live on your page that I just found, I was having a lot of trouble connecting with that. So now what I've done is I'm on my mobile phone and I've got my workbook from the webinar up on the laptop. So hopefully we'll be able to still get part of the webinar done today. So the webinar was all about how you can start to create online income for your private practice if you're a health practitioner or you're working in the health and wellness space and you've had to take your business from the offline world to the online. The feedback I'm getting from a lot of people is it's really scary and they don't know what they're doing and they don't want to close their businesses, and I totally get that. And so what I thought I could do today is perhaps teach you one part of the webinar, and it's probably the easiest part, so you can all start to have some wins and get some traction happening. By this time tomorrow you could actually be making money online. So if you registered for the webinar, you would have received a workbook, and we're just going to start working through that. If you didn't register for the webinar and you would like the workbook, let me know. So who am I? Okay, so when I'm not busy being a private practice owner and a psychologist, I'm a coach to other practice owners. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and my approach is a little bit different to other coaches in our space because I really am very passionate about integration of spirituality with business strategy. I believe that success in your business is going to be an inner game first, and it's going to be less about strategy, and that the strategy is going to come later. And when I'm not busy working in psych and doing things like that, of course I'm hanging out with my dog, Gabe. And so, today what I'm doing is hosting an encore of the masterclass that was prepared for you during this week. Some people said they couldn't attend the live and they didn't want to watch a replay because they wanted to be able to interact on the live. So that's what we're doing now. So today I'm going to teach you how you can start to generate income for your private practice in 24 hours or less. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that this is going to begin with that whole process of alignment. So the thing that you need to begin with is, really having a look at, and get a pen and paper if you want to. You can come back to this video later, but really start thinking about the things that you love to teach, and think about the knowledge that you would really love to share with your audience. Now, it might be related to the work that you've been doing, and it might not. But think about something that really lights you up and that you're really passionate about, and brainstorm all of those ideas. The next step is to think about why it's important for you now to be able to create online income for your private practice or for your health and wellness business. That's going to be different for everybody. Some people are going to want to create it for peace of mind, for a bit of freedom, for some relief, so that they've got money to reinvest back into the business or the practice. But the reason that we want to anchor into why is because, my dog's scratching and everything in the background. It's just not the morning for it this morning. The reason we want to anchor into the why is because that's really going to help us get a better outcome and get a better result. If you don't have a reason why you want to do something, it's going to make it a lot harder for you to energetically engage in the path that you're going to take to achieve that outcome. And then the third question now is really, what will having that additional income allow me to do? What will that additional income allow me to do? And so maybe that's going to be, well, it will allow me to upgrade my Wi-Fi connection. Maybe it will allow me to invest in a coach. Maybe it will allow me to invest in better resources for my clients. Maybe it will allow me to, sleep better at night. But really thinking about what that extra income is going to mean for your business and for you. Okay, so you've got those three steps there, and they become the foundations really for how we're going to bring your offer into alignment. The next thing, of course, is to really think about who your audience is, and this is a step that's often skipped. Everybody talks about an avatar, but what I want you to really do is there's a very, very simple way of having an avatar, and that is to bring to mind a favorite client that you've worked with before, somebody that you had an amazing experience with, that was your ideal client. So I want you to bring that person to mind and make a few notes for yourself around their age, gender, location, those kinds of things, but also what lights them up. What are their aspirations? What are their aspirations financially? What are their aspirations socially? And really think about how things are going to be different for that person after they've got the help that you're going to provide for them. All right. And that's really key, because we want to be able to speak to the transformation. Nobody's buying your webinar. Nobody's buying your PDF. Nobody's buying your online course. They're buying the results that course is going to give them, or the results that webinar is going to give them. The next thing to do is really, this was a game changer for me, but really to think about, that ideal client of mine, and to make a list of as many problems as I could think of that they were experiencing. So, maybe it was fear around loss of turnover in the business with coronavirus. Maybe it was fear of technology. Everybody's saying go online, but how do you do that if you don't have experience with it? Things like that. Then think about 5 things that they're thinking to themselves. So maybe they're thinking to themselves, I can never do this. This is going to be really hard. Why me? My business is going to be over. What are they saying to themselves now? And then list 5 feelings that they're experiencing. So maybe they're feeling despair, hopeless, grieving, all those kinds of things. So you've got 5 problems they're experiencing, 5 things they're thinking to themselves about those problems, and 5 ways that they're feeling about those problems. We're going to use all of that information in the copy that you put together to sell your offer in the next 24 hours. The next step then is to really think to yourself, okay, how can I help them? How can I help this person? And brainstorm all the ways that you can help them. So maybe you could help them with an online coaching call. Maybe you could help them with an online counseling session. Maybe you could help them with an online course. Maybe you could help them with a blog post. Maybe you could help them with a podcast episode. Maybe you could help them by connecting them with somebody else. Okay, think about all the ways that you can help them. And then start thinking about, how will life be different for that person, or how will life be better for that person after they've finished working with you? And now, just like we listed 5 problems, thoughts, and feelings before, now we're going to list 5 thoughts, sayings, and new feelings that they're experiencing now that they've gotten the help that they need from you. So, what are 5 things that they're thinking to themselves now? Maybe they're thinking, hey, that wasn't as hard as I thought. Maybe they're thinking, I've got this. Maybe they're thinking, yeah, I can do it. Maybe they're thinking, there is hope after all, and I can see the possibilities now. What are 5 things that they're now saying to their friends and family? Maybe they're now saying, I'm excited about taking the business online, or I've come up with a new way to help people and I'm really excited about that. Maybe they're thinking, maybe they're saying, hey, perhaps this needed to happen in our industry and I'm excited for what the future could be. And think of the 5 new feelings that your client is now experiencing as a result of finishing working with you. Okay, so maybe they're feeling confident, hopeful, not hopeless. Maybe they're feeling excited, lit up. all of those sorts of things. Okay, so you've got your audience profile now. You've figured out how you can help your audience. You've looked at your audience pain points. The next thing that we're going to do is really start to work through creating that blueprint. So in your blueprint, you've got hey Victoria, how are you going? We're looking at what's the audience struggling with right now, and you jot those things down. And then I want you to think about, what do I already have that I can repackage or repurpose? So remember, this is something that you're going to do today that's going to start bringing in money for you this time tomorrow. So you don't want to spend a lot of time on it. Have a look back through your old blog posts, your old videos, your old emails. Have a look, because you're going to have something that is really, really valuable there. A trick that I use to find out what's going to resonate with my audience is I will have a look, if it's on social media, I'll have a look at what got the most engagement. Or if it's in my email, I use MailChimp, and I'll have a look at what emails were clicked through, what had the highest click-through rates, and maybe I'll use one of those things to repurpose. And then the next question is, now you've got that, you want to say, well, what would be the easiest way for me to repurpose or repackage this content right now? Okay, what's going to be the easiest way for you to do that? So maybe you see a couple of things that you really like that you've put together. Maybe one is a video, or maybe you've got a blog post. Okay, so maybe you could jump into Canva and you could put your video in there, you could put your blog post in there, make it a nice little document. You might add in some extra links to additional resources, something like that. And then you're going to figure out, okay, what price am I going to sell it for? And will my audience buy it for this price? Now, here's the thing. Because you're only putting something together in 24 hours, you're not going to be pricing it probably more than $100. Let's help you get a few sales under your belt to build your confidence. But I'd be thinking, if you're going to do something that's a PDF or an ebook, that's maybe got your video or your podcast or something like that in it, depending on what the content is, you're probably going to be selling it for either $17, $27, or maybe at a pinch $37. I think you've got to go with your gut here on the price point. You know your audience better than I do. What are your audience going to pay to get a little bit of help right now? And as I said, they're not going to be buying your PDF or your ebook. They're going to be buying what that ebook's going to do for them, or what listening to that podcast is going to do for them, or what listening to that webinar is going to do for them. That's what they're buying. So think about, what is that worth to that person? It's probably going to be worth $17 or $27 if it means that they're going to get some answer to a problem that they're experiencing at the moment. Okay, so after you've sorted out your price, the next step then is to really think about, okay, what's going to be the easiest way for me to get this in front of people? So let's imagine you've put together a little ebook or something like that. What's going to be the easiest way for you to get it in front of your audience? Where are your audience hanging out? What do you really like to do? I mean, if you're not an email person, don't sit down and force yourself to write an email, because you'll just hate the process and you'll have a low energy, and that's going to come out in how you write, whether you're aware of it or not. If you really love the camera, like I do, maybe you just want to jump in front of the camera and let everybody know that it's available and pop a link in the comments. But think about the easiest way for you to get this small offer in front of people, okay? And then the next thing you want to do is set and write an intention for yourself. And so an intention is really around, it's a statement of something that you want. And when you anchor into that statement with emotion, it really amplifies the energy that's associated with that. When you have an intention, what happens is, in your mind's eye, you create a picture of what you want the outcome to be. And when you do that, you engage a range of neural networks that are going to involve, piecing together a little movie or a little picture for you. And the more that you can color in the lines with that picture in your mind about, your purpose for putting this together and your intention for putting this together, the more powerful it will become. And if you can think about this intention every single day, what's going to happen is over time, over the next week or two, you're going to start to see things fall into what we call alignment, start to marry up really nicely in real life with this intention you hold in your heart and in your mind. So a simple way to write an intention is to say, look, it's Saturday the 28th of March and I have created an ebook priced at $17 for my audience. I have already sold 10 units and this extra income will allow me to do. Okay? That's how you write your intention. So you've got a bit of a roadmap there now that I've given you. What I would suggest you do is maybe go away, get a pen and paper, watch this video back and work your way through those questions. And by the end of it, you're going to have an offer that's priced at the correct price point, that's going to meet the needs of your audience at the moment, and that's going to be able to generate you a few $100s in the next few days. And it's going to feel really joyful for you to put together. It's going to feel really easy for you to get in front of them. And it's going to be really well received because you're going to be speaking to the transformation. Okay? If you have any trouble with it, let me know. Just pop a message in the comments and I'll check throughout the weekend and give you any help if you need it. But let's try and get you some extra cash coming in a way that feels really aligned for you. Okay? Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you on the next video. Have a lovely Saturday. Bye, guys.